Living life in a creative way will benefit every single area in your life in ways that you cannot possibly imagine. And in this video, I'm going to show you how. Hello, I'm David and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I basically in the art world all my life. I was learning the piano when I was a kid. Today I'm a guitarist. I was probably 100 times on stage in my life. I was acting, I was even dancing on stage, even though I'm definitely not the greatest dancer. I did improv, I did stand-up comedy for years. I wrote several songs, I wrote 2 books, and now I found YouTube. And I'm extremely grateful for having found this path now, because this is what I believe to be my true calling. And what I learned by engaging in so many different artistic endeavors is what I wanted to share with you in this video, because there are actually similarities within all of them, and they transfer to every single area of your life, because in the core, everything is the same. So yeah, enjoy. Point number 1, permeability. Permeability is meant to focus on impulse and to be open to receive impulses. And I don't speak about the impulses within you, but the impulses from outside that you can receive and use for your project, whatever it is. Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, and hands down one of the smartest human beings who ever lived, once said, "People don't have ideas, ideas have people." In analytic psychology and amongst artists, there is this strong belief that ideas are living things. But don't take my word for it. I let Rick Rubin explain here. And if you don't know who Rick Rubin is, he is probably the greatest music producer we had ever. He is responsible for developing albums with Red Hot Chili Peppers, with Metallica, with Johnny Cash, with Eminem, with Jay-Z, with, you could name so many here. And the crazy thing about it is Rick Rubin has no idea of music. He doesn't know anything about music, he said from himself. But what he's able to do is he creates a safe space where the artist is completely free to express himself or herself and to be able to receive the certain impulses. The Times magazine even put him on the list of the 100 most influential people of all time.
We really are talking about magic. We're talking about like the universe conspiring on our behalf if we let it. And to be in this flow of catching these waves that anyone can catch. If you're trying to catch it, you're open to it, you see it coming, you take off on every chance you get, and sometimes the ride happens, and it's remarkable. It's remarkable how it happens. And it doesn't come from, it's not preconceived, it's not an idea, it's through the doing. These things that want to be, that the universe wants to happen now, comes through us. And if we don't do it, maybe someone else will do it. Have you ever had that experience where you have an idea for something and you don't do it, and then 6 months later you see that someone else has done it? It's not because they took your idea, it's that it's time for that. And you can act on it or not. And if you see, and the artists, the best artists are the ones who have the best antenna for this material that's available. It's coming through. The best comedians see the best jokes. They see them coming. We all live in the same world. The way you see it, you have the best joke because you see it best. And one of the reasons I believe that you can see it best is because you don't believe what the structure around you assumes to be the case.
Call it ideas, inspirations, creative energy, divine downloads, it doesn't matter. There are free-flying bits of information out there, and you can receive them if you are in the right state. Theoretically, everyone could catch them. It depends if you want to catch them and if you are open. So the best artists are the ones with the best antennas. And everyone is an artist, you know? You are creating your life. You are a creator. Do you know what I mean? And this skill can transfer to every area of your life. You know, every conversation can possibly be transformational. You know, conversations can be art as well. You know, whenever this divine creative force is involved, you know, like your relationship get deeper and trusting as a result of that. Your whole body is even vibrating during it. You know, you can feel a physical response. And you can catch those impulses by doing anything and being anywhere. And you know, it proves the certain situation where you are. It doesn't matter where it is. You just have to being open. For example, in my work as a coach, when I coach people, I always listen with an open heart. I always want to help the person in front of me. And you know, by creating this safe space, I get these spontaneous impulses myself, and then we apply it usually, and the results are phenomenal. They're transformational. So yeah, living life in a creative way will benefit every single area of your life. I promise you that. Unfortunately, most people don't know about that, or they're not interested in that. They don't see the value in it because they haven't experienced it. But some of them lack the fine enough sense to do so, sure. But that usually is a result of being too much in the head. So when you're alone in your head, maybe it's obvious, try to get into your body. Move a lot. Okay, a short personal story. When I was 16, 17, I was a complete destroyed body and mind and spirit. I was like a few years on the street. I had no home. I had no family. I was on drugs. I stopped going to school and all that jazz. So I was a complete mess. And then at some point I decided to switch my life around and start going to the gym and start going back to school and doing all those fucking exams, you know, what took me forever to finish. And fitness was, and being in my body was like one of the main ingredients that helped me to switch and turn my whole life around, because I got like an addict with fitness. I was in the gym every day. I was really obsessed. And as a result of that, you know, I felt for the first time in my life that I can be successful at things when I work hard. And, you know, with like really this obsession for my body and my health and how to improve every area of my life, if it's nutrition, if it's breathing, sleeping, sports obviously, it led to really developing finer senses for me. And I think that's definitely has a connection with me being spiritual nowadays, because you're just more aware and you're just more perceptive of many things, you know. So yeah, being in your body has literally saved my life. Anyway, to receive impulses, you can do many different things. You can do breath work, for example, and this is great because breath work brings you back into your center, not even in your body, but even in your center. You can go in nature, for example. Everything that is good for your spirit helps with your creative output. And as I said before, we're all artists, we're all creating all the time. Important as well is to limit the distractions in your life. When you're constantly surrounded by a lot of noise, it's obviously very difficult to receive and perceive those very subtle signals in your life. Does this make sense? Our thoughts, feelings, processes, and unconscious beliefs, is it what gives each piece its magnetism? This energy is hidden in the work, so you are best if you are trying to focus on having a high frequency during the actual creation, or as often as possible. So when you have fun doing what you're doing, When you have fun while creating, the work will be infused by that fun or by any of those energies I just mentioned, by any emotion, you know? So remember, people can feel what you feel. So the best thing to do is do the things that excite you. And don't just take my word for it, try it. You know, check what happens when you create something with love or joy, how it resonates with the world. Or look at pieces of art that you enjoy and maybe you can find out how it was created, or you see the person while creating. Or on the other side, check what happens when you create out of a place of very low emotions, how that is being perceived by the world, you know? Does this resonate with you, this concept? So point number 3 is create value. I had a huge resistance going towards social media before. I always framed it as toxic and as, you know, fake and everything. But, you know, I reframed it as this is my window to the world and I am able to find my people during this, due to this technique possibility. Sorry, my English. And about this problem that social media is fake, what I can do is just be the most honest and most vulnerable self that I can be in order to do something against this fakeness that is around social media. You know, be the change that you wish for the world. You know, embody that change yourself. And that's just what I try to do. The value I give is being authentic and sharing my worldview through my, you know, through my channel here. And I am the only one who sees the world how I see it. And that's true for every single one of you as well. We all have a unique way of seeing the world. This is what I see. And it's not better or right or false compared to anything else, you know? This is just what I see. And if you resonate with it, you resonate with it. And if not, then you don't. Because all the people I watch on YouTube are the people who I perceive as being authentic, you know? Because it gives an impression and the possibility to actually create a connection with the person. And I think we are not looking for like the perfect guy or girl with the perfect looks and the, you know, and the perfect life, but rather a vulnerable and honest human being that, you know, that we can identify with. So yeah, this is why I went into YouTube. You know, I think it's for me it's a very elegant way when I just put all my energy in here, that I will be able to live here, live from this one day, and all I have to do is, you know, just share myself honestly and authentically and work my ass off, you know. Like those videos I'm doing, they are taking right now 20 hours per video around, and I try to make like 2 a week. So on top of working full-time, I'm actually doing another full-time job just doing YouTube. So I literally have no free time at all right now, but I enjoy it, you know. It's very enjoyable for me, so I rather do this than anything else, you know, except for going in the gym. But yeah, don't know, I lost the line again. But yeah, YouTube is great. That was what I wanted to say actually, because you can learn anything about this platform. I remember when I found that Jordan Peterson was putting up all his material, what he teaches in university, you know, just free on YouTube. The course is called Personality and Its Transformations, and I would recommend you take the one from 2016, I think it was. So just the latest one that's available. You can learn literally, you know, knowledge that people pay like hundreds of thousands dollars in America to gain. You know, like this platform is just fucking crazy. It completely revolutionized humanity. Everything you want to learn, you can learn on YouTube. Like, I mean, I have mentioned in other videos that I have lived in a forest and built a cabin there. I had no idea how to build a cabin. I literally watched a 5-minute YouTube tutorial, and afterwards I knew how to build a cabin. You know, it's just insane. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, point number 4. Creativity and the feminine. Creation is a feminine principle. So I once made a video about how you can differentiate the voices within yourself. I will put it down in the description if you want to understand a little bit more about this topic and like the feminine and masculine principles. But yeah, when you create something, you actually don't want to create from your head, but from your heart. What creativity is doing, it actually teaches you how to think from the heart even. You know, especially in Western civilizations and cultures, we have a tendency to intellectualize everything. But you don't want to intellectualize art, because art is something that should come from your heart. That's why I personally don't believe in studying art in university, because I think the more unique the voice is, the more it is in service to what the world actually needs. But your rational mind, aka your masculine side, will try to make you learn technique. Only focus on technique. And fair enough, especially in the beginning, it's important to learn some techniques. You need something in your toolkit that you can work with. But don't confuse these things. Learning technique is practice. Creativity, creation, is when that masculine frame, you know, that order is set in place, and the femininity can create chaos within and create something new. Because the masculine is the chaos, the feminine is the chaos, the principle of chaos. The masculine is the order, or those are two principles of many others. So by learning the techniques, you establish the frame in which you can create, but the true creation has to be chaotic and has to be not done with order and with rationality. Does this make sense? So true creation is becoming a vessel and let everything flow through you. Try to be in service and be humble, stay humble, and be grateful to the universe for deciding to channel through you. When you stay in that mindset, you will always be granted with the next step to take. The artist's way is being in a constant state of awareness. Yeah, it's a way of being. So sometimes you receive signs and then you have to act accordingly. For example, you have to let go of things. In my case, it was letting go of stand-up comedy. And you have to understand how crazy this is. You know, I dropped my whole life, moved to a new city where I didn't know anybody. I moved to Berlin to do stand-up. And I didn't know anybody here. I didn't have an apartment. I didn't have a job. I didn't have an apartment. I just left everything behind me and went on my hero's journey, you know, to Berlin to do stand. It was all I had. I did it for 2 years, and then, you know, I got this revelation that I have to drop it, that this is not the right thing for me. And I dropped it. And literally the next day, like magic, we're talking about magic here. The next day, this new path fell into my lap, and I am so happy now. You know, I looked for 30 years for my calling, and now I finally found it. And it's the way how it happened, you know, it can only happen with trust, you know, and with being a vessel. Because, yeah, if I would have been more stubborn and still doing stand-up comedy, this winter now that just starting in Germany, that would be super hard, because yeah, I still wouldn't be on my path. And yeah, you got the message. Sometimes it's not up to you to decide what you do. You just get the signs and you follow them. Do you feel me? Very important as well is to don't let your perfectionism, your fear, or your self-doubt get in the way. And understand and know that the imperfect is what makes the art great. this is what makes it human. You know, think about music, for example. I personally, I don't listen to music that is, you know, a perfect technical sound, you know. When a guitarist is playing and just focuses on the perfect ring to every note, this is not engaging. But what is engaging is those raw recordings when not every note has the same space and the perfect ring to it, but when the artist is able to express his deepest emotion in the song and to, you know, transfer all this, you know, all these things he wants to transfer, all the message, all the pain or love or whatever it is, you know, that's what is doing something to you. And not a perfect technique. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can't be perfect. The imperfect is what makes it great. Do you understand what I mean? Anyway, point number 5. On the deepest level, we are all a frequency. So I just put out a video about that we are a frequency. It's about vibrations. I will put it in the description down below as well. And in this video, I go very deep on this topic. Here I'll be quick now. Quantum physics, wave mechanics, the string theory, spiritual masters, ancient cultures, they all believe that frequencies, energies, and waves are one of the core, like the deepest essence of our being, you know? Every particle is actually vibrating constantly and simultaneously sending out a frequency. And that's obviously true for the human body and for any other object as well. So yeah, just look in the video if that is interesting to you. I understand that may sound weird, but the world is weird, isn't it? Definitely our conception of it, our limited perception of it is weird. So understand, all you are creating is a vibrational energy, and all you are perceiving is a rhythm. The obvious example is for sure music, yeah? You listen to it because you think it's beautiful or it gives you energy or whatever. So you receive the rhythm and your body likes it. Or on the other hand, you listen to a song that you hate and your body rejects it. It's the same with food, you know. You smell on a good food and on a good piece of food and your body wants it, or you smell at something that's bad and your body is rejecting it. We are a frequency as well, and the frequencies of music, it just, you know, this vibration, it does something like bad food is doing or good food is doing with your body as well, you know. It's just a different level of our system. But understand that everything is just a vibration. Like even watching stand-up comedy, you know, that vibration is not in terms of, you know, beautiful or whatever, but in the form of surprise, you know. Stand-up is nothing else but a rhythm, but with a surprise nature. Or when you're reading something, that's usually something that is based around elegance, you know. Yeah. Does this make sense? So it depends what you need, but it's always a symbiotic relationship between artist and audience. One with the goal to usually heal both of them as a result. So yeah, I hope you liked my riff on creativity. I think it's one of the most beautiful parts of being a human being, and I think this is the reason why we have been put on this earth, for every one of us to create our unique voice and to create whatever we are here to create. We're not meant to work in a fucking factory. We're not meant to sit in an office all day long. We're here to create. And I wish every one of you to find the things that you truly want to create. Anyway, I thank you all very much for watching. I would be very grateful if you could give this video a thumbs up, if you write me a comment, if you share your creative endeavors or any take on creativity. I know you could talk so much more about this topic, but yeah, I try to make my videos not that long anymore. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, you know, and all the jazz. So thank you very much for watching, and I will link a video of the time when I lived in a forest here and where I share my key learnings. So, goodbye. Imagine sleeping every single night in a dark forest, alone. No walls, no roofs, completely exposed to storms, so falling branches, falling trees, wild nocturnal animals,